game is being brought to you in part by your Lincoln Mercury dealers, by Chili's, and by Toyota.
It's the final dress rehearsal for Sam White and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they meet their interstate rivals, the Miami Dolphins. Coming to you live tonight from the Citrus Bowl in Orlando. And a pleasant good evening, everyone. I'm Tom Mees along with Chris Collinsworth. And Chris, I think most Buccaneer fans would say this has been a pretty good preseason. First week, but big wins over Cincinnati and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and reason for optimism. First of all, on the offensive side of the football, Trent Dilfer has looked good, looked solid at the quarterback position. Eric Rett, outstanding at the running back. Paul Gruber leads a much-improved offensive line. And we really haven't even seen Alvin Harper yet. So offensively solid. But the real excitement for this team has to be on the defensive side of the football. Rusty Tillman has come in here, done an outstanding job. If they can match up tonight against this Dolphin offense, now we certainly will be impressed.
And this Dolphin offense has made some changes, Chris. They've added some talent. They've restructured their salary structure to fit people under the salary cap. Most notably, a big tight end coming over from the Steelers, and they could have used him last week, Eric Green.
Yeah, and we've already seen the problems the Pittsburgh Steelers have had without Eric Green. But what he does for the Miami Dolphins, everyone knows he's a good pass receiver, has the ability to match up against anybody in the secondary. But essentially, he is a sixth offensive lineman. And when you've seen the Miami Dolphins over the past few years, the problem they have had is running the football. And Eric Green now has added a dimension to that offense. I think their running game is going to be much better this year.
For the Buccaneers, 9 days until the season opener against the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. Remember, fans, the Bucs open at Philly, at Cleveland. You played for Sam White for several years. How does he approach the final dress rehearsal before the season starts?
Well, I think the most important thing is to not get any of your key players hurt out there. But there are some guys that need to see a little bit of playing time. Hardy Nickerson, for one, and certainly Alvin Harper needs to get out there, get the feel of the season, because if the Bucs are going anywhere this year, Alvin Harper has to play a major role.
And quickly, in Miami, the whispers about Don Shula, is he ever going to get back to the Super Bowl? He's under a lot of pressure this year.
I think there is a lot of pressure on Don Shula and this entire Miami Dolphin team because they have done everything. They have gotten every free agent. The expectations absolutely through the roof this year, and now they come in here and play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Wouldn't surprise me at all to see the Bucs play them very tough this evening.
Well, they always do seem to play the Miami Dolphins very tough for the preseason. High expectations in Tampa Bay with the regular season less than 10 days away. But first things first, it's the Dolphins and the Buccaneers. In the state of Florida, you need not say much more than that. We'll have the opening kickoff at Channel 44 in just a moment.
Express Montgomery Ward is proud to announce the arrival of Goodyear, the #1 selling tire in America. And to celebrate, we're putting all Goodyear tires on sale, including the popular Arriva 2 all-season radial from only $18.88 each. Goodyear tires are now at Auto Express, and they're all on sale.
Domino's Pizza announces
Mega Fun.
4 amazing weeks when any pizza, any size, with any number of toppings is just $7.99.
Mega Fun.
Just call or stop by any Domino's Pizza now for this mega money-saving deal. Remember, any pizza, any size, any number of toppings, just $7.99.
Mega Fun.
It's only at Domino's Pizza, and it's only a phone call away.
Mega Fun.
It's a mega deal.
Get it in gear with a new GMC Sonoma 5-speed with 118 horses under the hood. Whoa, boy! So you can haul all kinds of stuff. With all this room, you can almost live in it. No more rent. And don't forget safety. In fact, Sonoma's so much fun. Let's do that again. GMC Sonoma 5-speed. A fun way to save some serious dough. Get it in gear at your Suncoast GMC truck dealer now.
A partly cloudy evening in the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, but all things considered over the last couple of days, great weather. Now that Tropical Storm Jerry is somewhere else, we take a look at the Miami Dolphins, Chris. They've won the toss. They will receive, so we'll see Dan Marino right off the bat.
And I always think that it's exciting anytime Dan Marino takes the field. You know, there's just something about seeing the future Hall of Famer out there operating. And, of course, on the other side, you get the mad scientist and Sam White. And he'll be going against the great one, Don Shula. So this should be a lot of fun tonight.
It should be just that. Don Shula is 26th year coaching the Miami Dolphins. And a guy who's the winner Miami.
Well, you know, the interesting thing is that it's coming from a TV guy in Jimmy Johnson. Of course, Jimmy Johnson has so many fans down there from his days, not only with the Dallas Cowboys, but also with the Miami Hurricanes. And he's sort of lying there in the bushes, and everybody's talking about him.
O.J. McDuffie and Irving Spikes, two very, very talented, exciting return artists, are set to receive the kickoff of Michael Husted. Husted tees it up at the 30. Almost a perfect night for football here at the Citrus Bowl, and with that, the ball rolls off the tee.
And it almost broke Curtis Buckley's heart. He was ready to go. He took the first 15 yards down the field just when the ball went off the tee.
You get all this emotion worked up for the opening kickoff, and the thing rolls off the tee.
There's a little buzz in the crowd tonight, isn't
Yes,
there?
there is. This is a big game atmosphere. As much excitement as I've ever been around or noticed in a preseason game. And we go for real. It is a deep one in and out of the end zone. Husted. He knocked that one into Sanford.
Well, obviously, Husted a little fired up for the beginning of this ball game.
And the Miami Dolphins will start first down and 10 at the 20. First and 10 at the 20, and there's a look at, as Chris said, the future Hall of Famer Dan Marino in his 13th year out of the University of Pittsburgh. How big is he in Miami? 35 pages in the media guide. I counted them.
And Harvey Green, their PR director, was all upset because Dave Craig in Arizona had 43, and his comment was, I'll get him next year. Of course, next year they'll need another 15 pages. He's going to pass everybody in the record book this year.
Yeah, we'll chronicle that as the game goes along. Marino is second in three key areas, actually four key areas, all-time among NFL quarterbacks. And already we have our first delay. Tom White, the referee, I don't think his microphone's working.
Well, you know, I know that personally the one thing that I wanted to watch was Tom White come to the sideline to open this game. You know, it always adds a little element of drama to the beginning of a football game.
Almost a sellout crowd here at the Citrus Bowl in Orlando. 8 days from now, we'll have a college game here, Florida State and Duke, with the excitement of this one with the Dolphins and the Bucs going head-to-head. Up the top, Marino throwing on first down. A big tight end, Derrick Brooks, makes the catch up at the 28-yard line. Barney Bussey brings him down. Offensive lineups for the Dolphins. Parmalee and Byars. Keith Byars starting in the offensive backfield. McDuffie, Fryer, Eric Green. Elsewhere up front, look at that talent. Richmond Webb, Tim Ruddy, Sims, Gray, and Ron Heller. You Bucs fans know all about number 73. Gain of 9. They'll mark it at the 29, second down and 1. Byars and Parmalee behind the quarterback Marino. McDuffie in motion. Bernie Parmalee struggles over the 30. He's got the first down. Dolphins have been doing a good job in the preseason running the football. We take a look at the Bucs defense. Chidi Ahanotu, Mark Wheeler, Warren Sapp, and Eric Curry. Curry in on that last tackle. Lonnie Martz had a great game against the Steelers last week. Hardy Nickerson, Derrick Brooks, and the secondary Mayhew, Dimry, Bussey, and Everett. You perhaps can hear the wind kicking up here at the Citrus Bowl. It could be a factor on field goals and punts tonight.
Going in the face of Dan Marino now.
First and 10 at the 31. All the time in the world for Marino. If you give him time and Eric Green is his tight end, he's going to hit him. Everett the tackle.
You know, Eric Green is one of those guys, as I go around the league and I talk to defensive coordinators, they say, what do you do with this guy? You try and play a zone against him, he gets that big body on you and then moves slightly away, makes the reception. You try and play man-to-man with the linebacker, he's too fast. Play man-to-man with somebody in the secondary, he's too big for them. They can't figure out how to stop this guy. That's the reason he's making that big money.
Chris, you can't tell me the Steelers aren't going to miss him big time.
I think they already are.
Yeah. Last night's game was evidence. Finally, kicks it outside, but not for much. Wheeler on the tackle. Mark Wheeler, number 77, run him down after a gain of a couple. Second down and 8.
Mark Wheeler working on the nose, the new center this year for Miami, and Tim Ruddy out of Notre Dame. And nice move there by Bernie Parmalee. Parmalee got the job done last week for the Dolphins running the football. This has improved the Dolphin running attack this year.
Hardy Nickerson also in on that tackle, second down and 8. On the 47-yard line. Keith Byars, his first carry of the preseason. He's wrapped up. Chidi Ahanotu got there first to help bring him down, well short of the first down. Nickerson also.
And Hardy sort of welcomes him back after a bit of time off. Of course, Keith Byars missed 7 games last year after a reconstructive surgery on that ACL. And to be honest, on that first carry, he looked a little tentative coming in there. Ahanotu coming from behind to track him down. It just so important to go out there and get that first lick in, and Keith Byars, I'm sure, feels better just having been hit the first time.
10-year veteran Byars out of Ohio State, a former number 1 of the Eagles. In fact, one of many, many number 1s on this Dolphin roster. Third down at 6. And hold everything. Time for the flags to come out. They have a dead ball foul against Miami. Well, White's microphone is still not working, but we know it's a false start against the Dolphins.
One of the guys that's going to get a real good look in this ball game, as you take a look at Don Shula, is Clifton Abraham, the 5th-round pick this year. And how'd you like to be going out there in the game that means so much to your personal career and facing Dan Marino? Not much doubt where the movement was over there. Big Richmond Webb, the 5-time Pro Bowler, trying to get an early start on Eric Curry.
That'll bring up third down and call it 11. Eric Curry with an outside rush. It's picked up, and there is Derrick Brooks making the catch. First down, Dolphins at the 25-yard line. Derrick Brooks has made a living going over the middle, and he sacrificed his body on that one.
You gotta love it, watching somebody laying out across the middle, because you know you're going to pay the price. But last week, Gary Clark made a touchdown catch just like this, and he absolutely got drilled on the play. Absolutely no fear in his heart. He's going to lay out and make a huge play, and you don't think Dan Marino is going to enjoy seeing some catches like that? He's challenging O.J. McDuffie for that other starting position.
27 yards, and that completion. Marino to the air again. Derrick Green, and the Dolphins look unstoppable through the air. Making the tackle for Tampa Bay is Barney Bussey. First and goal, Miami.
Football's a beautiful sport when you get to watch Dan Marino and he gets hot. And right now, these receivers are finally getting their timing for the Miami Dolphins. They really struggled the first few games trying to get the timing. A lot of new players offensively teamed with Dan Marino, but right now they're looking like they're in midseason form.
A couple of weeks ago, shut out at Atlanta, 37-0. Everybody said, what's the matter with the offense in Miami? Nothing that I can see. Parmalee, touchdown, Miami. Ernie Parmalee gives the Dolphins a 6-0 lead on an excellent 4-yard run up the middle.
Now the Dolphins looking like everyone thought the Dolphins would look this year. That was a huge block thrown inside by Keith Byars against Hardy Nickerson. Just buckled the knees of Hardy Nickerson, who hasn't played a lot during the exhibition season, but that was a masterful performance.
Stoyanovich to add the extra point. What a drive by the Dolphins. 80-yard drive in 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Stoyanovich, it's good. So the Miami Dolphins take the opening kickoff and march 80 yards to a 7-0 lead, and we'll be back with the Buccaneers' first offensive series in a moment.
It was a mission of peace, a voyage of exploration. But when your back is against the wall, you learn to fight like hell. Prepare for the future of the future. The all-new season premiere of Star Trek Voyager. Monday night at 8, here on Channel 44.
most of this airline's fleet is modern enough to meet those quieter standards 5 years ahead.
Don't wait any longer to visit the Dodge Buyer's Choice Final Cleanup. Don't miss your chance to choose up to $1,200 off a roomy, zoomy Dodge Neon. Or to choose an interest rate clipped to as low as 1.9%. Or to choose a very lean Neon lease rate of only $179 a month. So hurry in today before all your best Neon choices are all cleaned out. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
A lot of elements, Chris, in that Dolphin drive. You mentioned the block by Keith Byars for Parmalee in the touchdown run.
That's what this one came down to. Byars just going one-on-one against Hardy Nickerson and just knocked him on his back. And then Parmalee finishing off the play, and about as impressive a performance as we've seen from the Dolphin offense during the course of the preseason, and really the first time we've seen that kind of success against this Buccaneers defense so far in the preseason.
Well, Buckley is winding it up for Tampa Bay. Curtis Buckley. You see he'll be out there charging everybody up. Back deep for the Buccaneers is Jerry Wilson. He's on the 4-yard line. And the official is holding up a game against so he can change his mic. On that drive, this is unbelievable. Marino 4 for 4, 69 yards. And, Chris, he had completions of 21, 28, and 24 yards.
And Dan Marino started out working it underneath to Eric Green, then worked it down the field to Eric Green. But I thought the really special play of the drive, the diving catch by Gary Clark.
Yeah, Clark, he caught a ball against the Redskins last week. They really talked about for a touchdown. He just got his clock clean, and he's never been afraid to go over the middle. And Bernie Parmalee with some tough runs up the middle, too.
How many Miami Dolphins scoring drives have you seen look just about like that? You know, when they get on and they get a nice night to play, it just at times can be unstoppable.
Dan Marino at times looks to me like he should have majored in pre-med at Pitt because he's like a surgeon out there when he gets in a rhythm.
The amazing thing about Dan Marino is that he lasted almost until the second round before he was drafted. And the reason I know that is that we drafted a center in Dave Remington right before Dan Marino. And there was a debate, and they said, well, no, this Dan Marino is a little too erratic to play for the Cincinnati Bengals.
He may have impacted on your career had he shown up in Cincinnati.
Yeah, well, I've thought about that from time to time, yes, indeed.
All right, there's a look at Wilson at the goal line. Stoyanovich tees it up. You have to wonder after a drive like that how much more work Dan Marino is going to get tonight. You know, Trent Dilfer is expected to play at least the first half. Casey Weldon is going to get a lot of time for the Bucs tonight as well. Stoyanovich, it's a bit short compared to Houston. Wilson gathering it in at the 5. Got a lane. Wilson up to the 35, 36-yard line, bringing him down for Miami. Bernie Parmalee, a 32-yard run back for Jerry Wilson. And Trent Dilfer's numbers on the preseason. 1 touchdown, 6 interceptions. But remember, 3 of those INTs were in the first game. He's looked a lot better since then.
Well, I'm not so sure about those numbers. I thought he threw 2 touchdown passes last week.
Yeah, we got to check
We'll
that.
check those numbers.
Now, that was 94, the 2 starts. Okay.
I got you.
Hell of a player. You're right. Those looked a bit odd. First and 10 for Tampa Bay at the 37. Play fake. Dilfer's going to the sideline, and he has his man. And that is Lawrence Dawson, number 80. Alvin Harper also getting a start tonight. Troy Vincent on the tackle. There's a look at the offense. Eric Rett, Dave Moore, the running backs. Jackie Harris, the tight end. Alvin Harper from the Orlando area getting a start tonight. Horace Copeland. The line, Gruber, McCray, Mayberry, Beckles, and Scott Dill. First down on that toss to Lawrence Dawson, 13 yards. Here's the give to Eric Rett. Look at the hole for Rett. Eric Rett, 30. One man to beat, and he catches him, but he's out of bounds at the 23-yard line. J.B. Brown may have saved 6 points.
Tom, I think you might have been able to pick up 15 or 20 on this one. Look at the size of the hole. My God. That offensive line just destroyed the Miami Dolphins. And Eric Rett running with a big smile on his face when he got his hands on that football, took full advantage of it. This is it's been some preseason so far for Eric Rett.
I'll say Eric Rett got over 1,000 yards as in the league in rushing overall. NFC Offensive Rookie of the Year. Averaged 101 yards rushing in the final 7 games. Many of them racked up as W's for Tampa Bay.
And Sam White was telling me just before the game that Eric Rett came to him and wanted to see more action tonight. He felt he had not played enough to date in the preseason, so Sam's going to try and give him about 4 series tonight as opposed to just 2 that he's been seeing so far.
Another delay. They're having play clock problems now, we understand. Well,
the crowd with a little "Let's Go Bucs" chant. Interesting, one other thing that Sam White was telling me before the ball game, as he now works on the officials a bit, is how disappointed he was in the Tampa Bay stores. He said, I went into the shopping mall the other day, and I'm walking through. I'm seeing all this Steelers stuff. I see the Jets stuff. I see a ton of Dolphins stuff. Everything under the sun. They had one Tampa Bay hat and one shirt. He said, enough's enough. We got to start making our point on the field.
That's right. Winning changes everything, including the souvenir sales. Now, Tom White is over explaining something to Don Shula. I think the 45-second clock is stuck at 40. I think that's the problem. What kind of promise does this present for a quarterback who's got to know how much time he's got left before he snaps the ball?
You know, just play football is my theory. You know, we're sitting there. They're not keeping records in this one, and the game's brilliant so far. If you like offense, Marino goes down the field. Dilfer completes the pass. Rat breaks one off for about 30. It's up and down the field, and we're watching officials. Get on with it. Let's go.
Amen. First down and 10 for Tampa Bay. In Dolphin territory at about the 23-yard line. Out on the flat to Rat. He cannot get away this time. Chris Singleton wrapped the arms around him and brought him down after a short game.
Chris Singleton, his first game back after really struggling with an ankle injury last year, broke his leg with the Patriots, injured the same one last year, and he really needs to fit in as the starting outside linebacker for the Miami Dolphins. Here, the timing on the hit, not exactly there. I thought Eric Rett might have gotten wiped out when that one was in the air.
They call it no gain, second down and 10 of the 23. That's the only setback behind Dilfer. Eric Rett up the middle inside the 20 near the 17-yard line. Michael Stewart from Miami makes the tackle.
That was an interesting play in that Paul Gruber, the left tackle, reached out and tried to reach across Jeff Frost. Jeff Frost, thinking the play was going the other way, fought hard to stay in front of it, and then all of a sudden Eric Rett just cut behind the whole thing, so Gruber got his job done.
To the left, Charles Wilson. In the slot, Lawrence Dawson. 4 wide receivers out. Alvin Harper split out to the top of the screen. Third down, about 5. And the delay. Will it be successful to Workman? Inside the 15 of the 13-yard line. Dwight Hollier on the tackle. I believe that's going to be a Tampa Bay first down. It'll be close. No, I don't believe they got it. They gave him a bad spot.
Very close indeed. Sweet little move there at the end of that play by Vince Workman, working against Dwight Hollier, who's filling in this ball game for Brian Cox, who's at home with a bit of a knee strain.
Ball is on the 22-yard line where Houston will kick it from. So a 32-yarder. Hash mark to the right. These are the preseason number 3 Houston. 32 yards away. Well within his range. It's plenty long enough, and it is good. So the Bucs answer the Miami drive with points of their own, albeit a field goal. 6:38 to go in the first quarter. Dolphins 7, Buccaneers 3. Back in a moment.
Although the thermometer is still climbing and the humidity keeps getting stickier, there's still nothing hotter this summer than the deals during Jeep Summer Days, now held over, where you can lease Jeep Grand Cherokee for just $289 a month. Get values over $1,300 on Jeep Cherokee Sport, including no-charge air. Deals that are truly steamy on the legendary Jeep Wrangler. But you'd better hurry in, because deals this incredibly hot are bound to cool down fast.
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer.
LX sedan today. Get more room than Altima. Get more basic warranty coverage than Accord. Get a great sedan for just $235 a month with zero down. The Mazda Labor Day Savings Spectacular. Miss it, and you could miss a chance to lease a Mazda 626 for $235 a month.
Welcome back to the Citrus Bowl in Orlando with Chris Collinsworth. I'm Tom Mees. One possession each for the Dolphins and Bucks. 10 points in the game. And Mr. Buckley getting the crowd whipped up again at the Tampa Bay end. And there is Irving Spikes. He really made this team, returning kickoffs and punts last preseason. Very exciting special teams player. He's also back there with the Dolphins 31, Sean Hill. And once again, Houston makes sure that nobody going to touch him. Well, time for the surgeon again. Dan Marino, how good is he all-time? Friends, he is second. See the column on the left? Second all-time in pass completion, passing yards, TD passes, and pass attempts to
Fran Tarkenton. And he's going to get them all this year.
On the right column, that's when they project when Marino will pass Tarkenton in all those categories.
Which game this year that he's going to do it. And Danny Marino has really been something special. But he does have a little asterisk by his name in that he has not won the Super Bowl.
First and 10 again for Marino and the Dolphins in the 20. Keith Byars up the middle, gets a hole over the 25 to the 27. Lonnie Martz, I believe, bringing him down. Lonnie Martz. That's right. Right the first time. And Derrick Brooks. Okay.
You know, it's interesting in talking about the asterisk by Dan Marino's name, Fran Tarkenton with a similar asterisk. All the big numbers and the great career, but no Super Bowl to show for it.
Danny Fouts, another one. Great numbers.
That's right.
Second down and 3. Clark in motion for Miami. Delayed pitch. And this one is going to be delayed a little bit longer. Pitch was to Bernie Parmalee, and that's a play that loses a yard or two. Derrick Brooks again in there with Hardy Nickerson.
And Hardy Nickerson needs a little time out there. I mean, he had the shoulder injury, and he just needs to run around the football field, get his muscle man pose going a few times, get the feel of it. But I really thought the beginning of the turnaround for the defensive side of the ball for the Buccaneers was when they signed Hardy Nickerson as a free agent. He just added that emotional element that really had not been here in the years prior.
Third down and about 1.5 with Eric Green in motion. He'll block for the running back. That's Parmalee. He's got the first down and more. Upending him, Thomas Everett.
Well, that's a play that Demetrius DeBose, playing the middle linebacker position, made an aggressive play, but made sort of a wild play. You see number 93, Demetrius DeBose, just throw his body in there, and then Hardy Nickerson overran the play. Really was not solid linebacker play that time on the part of the Buccaneers. They're better than that.
Parmalee already profusely sweating. It is a very humid night here in Orlando. As you would expect like this. First and 10 on the 38. Looking right all the way, and it's intercepted. And this is going to go for a touchdown. Mark Mayhew, touchdown, Tampa Bay. Oh, my goodness.
Pressure right in the face of Dan Marino. I believe that was Mark Wheeler. It seemed to bother him. And Martin Mayhew not fooled even a little bit. Very rarely will you see Dan Marino make that kind of mistake. More often than not, defensive backs will read the drop of the quarterback. That was a Hanatu that got the pressure, and Mayhew with an easy pick. Saw the three-step drop, made the quick break, all the way for the Buccaneers.
That's when a DB's eyeballs get real big when he sees the ball, and oh, look, nobody in front of me. Houston moves it through for the extra point. Lightning is struck here in the Citrus Bowl with the Tampa Bay Bucs. Martin Mayhew. Interception return for a touchdown. The Buccaneers take a 10-7 lead.
It's the hippest place to be, the greatest party on the sea, on the Gulf of Mexico, Empress Cruise Line. Toss away the
little as 1/1000th of an inch of motor oil protecting its parts. But friction and heat can make motor oil become volatile and vaporize, weakening its ability to protect vital parts. Texaco Haviland Formula 3 is formulated to control volatility, fight vaporization, and provide complete engine protection, no matter what you drive.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star. Hey, huge sale down at your local Southern Ford dealer.
Doctor?
No, a model year-end clearance sale. Making room for 96s with great deals on 95s. Like $600 cash back or 3.9 financing on Escort. America's best-selling small car. Or get $750 cash back on Mustang. Hey, huge sale down at your local Southern Ford.
Hey! Heard about the sale at your local Southern Ford dealer?
Hey!
You will. Welcome back live to the Citrus Bowl in Orlando. The Miami portion of the crowd in shock after that Martin Mayhew INT. And, of course, Mr. Buckley always gets the special teams ready for the kickoff.
It was hilarious watching Curtis Buckley and Kenneth Gatt. They were smashing each other before the kickoff.
Well, double safeties back there for Miami. Hasn't done any good so far. Let's see if Houston boots this one out of the end zone. Nope, this one will be returned. Irving spikes. No, it won't. You listen to Sean Hill with Buckley and company running down. Hill says, take it easy, young man.
And Buckley, a few words of his own.
He make a good politician, Chris.
He is a trip. You can watch him just by himself and have fun at the ball game.
Once again, it'll be 1st and 10 at the 20. For Dan Marino, he hopes for a better ending than the last pass he threw. Back to Orlando in a moment.
Toyota Camry, the best car built in America. Award-winning precision craftsmanship made it the gold standard. It's Toyota's nationwide sales event, the best time to get the best. Camry, and the hottest time to get $800 cash back. Buy or lease Camry and get money back. And for a limited time, you can lease Camry for a low $229 a month. Whew, it's Toyota's hottest sales event of the year.
Toyota.
Got a car, but need an engine? Then come to Pep Boys, where you'll find a huge selection of over 1,200 quality engines for your car or light truck for as low as $699.99. Import or domestic, all have a 12-month unlimited mileage warranty. And you can charge it with your Pep Boys credit card and pay as little as $35 a month. So come to Pep Boys and drive away happy.
95 summer closeout. Next stop, Chevy Geo. And the time to deal is now. Factory incentives in the thousands. Up to $1,500 on selected models. New trucks from 97.27. New cars under 8. Financing as low as 6.9% for up to 48 months. Special savings for first-time buyers, college grads. Low down payments, maybe no down payments at all. 95 summer closeout. Your next stop, Chevy Geo. Shop one of your Bay Area Chevrolet Geo dealers today.
Welcome back live to the Citrus Bowl in Orlando. Another look at the Mayhew INT.
Yeah, and Barney Bussey, the safety, was moving towards the middle of the field, so it truly was one-on-one coverage on the outside. Mayhew just took a chance. He rolled the dice, and he came up big.
And into the end zone he went. And it has started raining here now at the Citrus Bowl, and it's raining hard. Just, one of those famous Florida thunder showers moving through.
Tom, doesn't bother me a bit. You know, I'm one of those tough guys. It doesn't bother me at all sitting up underneath this ledge.
He said under about 10 tons of concrete. Well, I'll tell you what, you'd rather deal with this than that game in 82, huh?
You got that right.
So Marino and the Dolphins, with the rain pelting down. This field does rain incredibly well. They didn't have it covered when the top of the storm came through. It's a great field tonight. Here's almost another interception. Oh, my goodness. Wardell Rouse almost had one off the deflection.
Oh, my goodness. Parmalee with the ball right in his hands, and then Rouse. This is one that when the film comes up the next day, you sort of shade your eyes because you know you're going to hear it not only from the coaches, but worse from the boys.
Rouse, the rookie out of Clemson, has had flashes of brilliance so far this year, and now we're having problems with the game time clock. It says 4:05 now after an incomplete pass.
part of that show, Coach, that they're filming here? All these things that Hayden Fox having problems on the sideline. I don't know if this isn't all set up.
The clock says 4:05. Now we'll see at the snap if the clock starts moving again. Tom White going over the sidelines for the umpteenth time tonight. They do keep the game time down on the field. We know that. And so this shouldn't take too long to get resolved.
In the National Football League, the official time is on the stadium clock. But they do have the capability of shutting that thing down and simply keeping it on the field.
So after the incompletion, 2nd down and 10. That's the first pass Marino has thrown tonight and hasn't been caught by someone, either wearing a Miami or Tampa Bay uniform.
What a great career for Don Shula. I was in Philadelphia when he set the record, and oh boy, was it a special time for me just as a broadcaster to be there and to vote for the coach. The all-time record, most wins.
Very special moment. Hanson, Papa Bear Harris for that mark. Marino loads the time in the shotgun. He just threw that one away. The intended receiver appeared to be Terry Kirby. Landed at his feet. Cordell Rouse was in on Marino.
And Terry Kirby didn't seem to be too interested in catching that football. The ball was slightly off. Looked like Dan Marino read it a little differently than did Terry Kirby. Of course, Terry Kirby hasn't played a whole lot this year, and Dan Marino probably won't say a word when he gets back to the huddle. Dan kind of a quiet guy with his guys out there when he thinks they've fouled things up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think Kirby's ears are still ringing. Kirby hurt himself almost a year ago, late September against Minnesota. He's trying to come back from a torn ACL. Marino again. It telegraphed and dropped. That should have been intercepted. Charles Dimry had vision to the end zone. He did break it up and force a punt.
Wow. You're talking about three entirely different looking series. And check it out. There are some Tampa Bay fans here. The defense getting a huge ovation coming off the sideline. Looked like that ball may have just slipped out of Dan Marino's hand. It was a severe duck. And Dimry was right there. I really thought this one was gone the other way. That's a walk-in touchdown if Charles makes the catch.
Marino's led up. Bobby Joe Edmonds gets it on the run at the 32. Edmonds has got some room. Punt from behind by Bernie Parmalee, but Bobby Joe Edmonds has the Bucs set up in Miami territory.
And Bobby Joe Edmonds may have just made this football team with that play. Of course, Clarence Verdun, the other punt returner, but Verdun really just limited to returning kicks. And Bobby Joe Edmonds has shown flashes on the offensive side at running back. That's one of the decisions for this coaching staff. And again, my money right now on Bobby Joe Edmonds.
47-yard punt, 29-yard return. John Kidd did the honors for the record for the Miami Dolphins. Almost would come right back in his face, didn't it? And here come the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that's Derrick Brooks over the 35 to the 33. Chuck Klingbeil brought him down.
And let's give a plug to Charles McRae out there. Charles McRae, the guy that really is always been a bit of a question mark, former number one pick, playing left guard right now. But McRae coming off the ball and working against Steve Entman and just planted Steve Entman in the ground.
There goes Friend, and this is a big play, friends, but hold everything. There's a flag back in the Buccaneer backfield. Michael Stewart brought Eric Rett down, but I'm afraid it's all going to be for naught.
Well, if you're a Buccaneer fan, you're excited watching them run the football. If you're a fan of the Miami Dolphins, I guess if you're looking for an excuse for the way that the Buccaneers have been running it, neither Brian Cox nor Tim Bowens here and available to the Dolphins up front. But we've seen the Buccaneers run the football this effectively when Eric Redd has been in the game pretty much throughout the course of the preseason.
Ball marked back to the 38-yard line. You know a guy's getting a lot of playing time for Miami tonight? 94, Steve Entman, the oft-injured Indianapolis Colts. Big off-season acquisition and signing by the Dolphins. Gilford, plenty of time. He's going long over the middle. He's got his man, Jackie Harris. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. 7.
All right, now if I'd have told you before the ball game that one of these two quarterbacks would have been absolutely brilliant thus far, the other one would have thrown an interception for a touchdown going the other way, which order would you have picked?
Not this one.
Not exactly. Trent Dilfer with an absolute bullet down the field to Jackie Harris, and Tampa Bay, this team just might be for real.
Dilfer 3 for 3, Chris, 51 yards and 1 touchdown. 38 of those yards on that toss. Houston, extra point is good. We don't know quite how much time is left in the quarter because the scoreboard clock is broken, but we do know the score.
But neither side of the Tampa Bay team is having any problems whatsoever.
Well, Trent Dilfer, you can see his confidence growing from week to week.
And it's just so important. We've talked about it in the past. The first week, he just didn't seem to be very comfortable in the pocket. But watch this. Step up, all the faith in the world in the offensive line. Nobody touches him. And, oh, baby, it feels so good.
Ian Beckles doing a great job keeping that pocket intact. And you know who was beaten was Michael Stewart, the strong safety. He was one of the defensive backs beaten on that play.
And let us remind you, they have some injuries up front, but none in the secondary.
No. So Houston, who's getting a workout tonight, this will be his 4th kickoff of the football game. And also getting a workout, Messrs. Spikes and Sean Hill.
The one thing I am happy to see is that after the shower, a lot of times some quarterbacks have problems with the slick ball and they don't throw it as effectively. But we've seen Trent Dilfer come right out and just throw a shot. So, I mean, that's another hurdle pass in the NFL by Trent Dilfer.
Here's Houston. High end over end again. Deep in the end zone, and out it goes. If he keeps this up, what a weapon that is. You don't have to worry about covering guys bringing the kicks back.
And don't forget, they moved him back from the 35 to the 30 a year ago. So that indeed is an impressive kick as well as an impressive drive.
Well, the drive, we know the number of plays, Chris. We know the number of yards, but we don't have a clue as to how much time it took because the clock's not working.
We don't know. And also don't forget that in that play, they called back a run of about 15 yards.
Yep. So the Buccaneers really doing it offensively tonight. And defensively, well, remember, they haven't given up more than 1 touchdown in any game so far this year.
And now Dan Marino's mad. He's mad.
Safe bet. Clark in motion. The give is to Parmalee, and he won't get much. First to meet him, Wardell Rouse. Hardy Nickerson also in on the play. Rouse sent it up on top of him. That'll gain a couple.
Number 1 draft pick for the Miami Dolphins this year, Billy Milner, number 79, working against Brad Culpepper and doing a nice job. They're going to use Milner on both sides of the ball, playing both right tackle for Von Heller tonight and also left tackle for Richmond Webb. He did a nice job, though, last week.
Milner lines up on 2nd down to 9. Gain of only a yard for Parmalee that time. Marino getting pressure, and down he goes. Marino is caught from behind. Heath Poe brings him down. You don't see that very often.
It's been a little bit impressive so far. Here's a guy that was cut by the Cowboys in the preseason of 91 and 94. And Poe just makes a beautiful inside move against the number 1 draft pick, Billy Milner. And there he is. Hello, Mr. Dan Marino. He's in a battle, Poe and Spindler and Herman Smith and Todrick McIntosh. Those 4, only 3 spots available.
3rd down and 12. Loss of 3 on the play. Marino almost fumbled that ball. He went to the turf. Bringing his shot. Again, pressure on Marino. The ball is batted by Warren Sapp. He got a paw on it and broke up the play. He used to do that as a hobby at Miami.
Well, just a superior athlete, and that time he was able to get a push back towards Dan Marino. A lot of times you don't have to get the sack, but if you can get your guy moving backwards in the backfield, you had to step up because of the pressure by Lonnie March, and then Warren Sapp literally just right there in his face.
So Kidd is back to punt. Gets it away from about his 9-yard line, and Edmonds, it's another short one. He'll take it on the run. Already into Dolphin territory, but he is buried as he moves across the 50-yard line. The man with a pick and shovel, Dwayne Dotson.
Ouch. I think Bobby Joe Edmonds remembers why football hurts the way that it does. as a coach, I would rather see a guy just take it right up the gut. That looked like nothing. That was an 8-yard return. Better get that head up, though. You're going to have his neck.
I correct myself. Jeff Kopp, 52, was the first to get him, and then Dwayne Dotson piled on. 25-yard punt. That's all it was for Kidd. A 6-yard return. Bucks set up in Dolphin territory in the 48.
We're making sure Bobby Joe Edmonds remembered his heritage over there on the sideline. Who Mom and Dad were.
Ding dong. Gilbert from the shotgun, plenty of time. Rifles it into coverage, and it's going to be intercepted. First pickoff of the night for Miami, and that goes to Trace Armstrong, the former Chicago Bear. Can't threw that one maybe where he should not have.
Well, there was good coverage on the play, and and that's one you don't want to see. There's the big story. Forget the interception now. Alvin Harper, after making the tackle, came over and apparently re-injured his ankle. Good play on the pickoff by Trace Armstrong, and Alvin Harper behind the play, and he's coming off the field now, but no question, he was limping momentarily.
You know what? I sit him down right now. Not take any chance.
Trace Armstrong loving life, though, but for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, well, they're not taking any time to look at him, but you could see the disgusted look on his face when he felt that twinge of pain in the ankle.
We understand there's a minute, 10 seconds left in a very active first quarter. Bucks leading at 17-7. O.J. McDuffie in motion. Parmalee caught in the backfield. Brought down there by number 55, Derrick Brooks, the rookie out of Florida State.
Hello. Everyone knew of the speed of Derrick Brooks coming out of college. So watch the inside dip, and then there's three lead blockers out there, and they all banned on Derrick Brooks. Boy, what an exciting college player he was at FSU, and he has to bring it to the pros. There's no question. He has to be the starting outside linebacker.
Brooks and Sapp together, if they ever really bring it and get it turned up an extra notch, innate talent they have.
Oh, just the speed alone. I mean, that's what makes them fun to watch.
Second down and 11. Parmalee almost caught from behind. Mayhew was trailing that play. I think he did track him down. Martin Mayhew, credit for the tackle.
And Todrick McIntosh, number 94, needs a little stick-em on those hands. He looked like he was going to be there, had the jersey, had the get it and hold it, just had him again and just couldn't grab hold of him.
All over the 40 near the 45-yard line. And that is the end of the first quarter. What a first quarter it's been. Marino goes 80 yards for a touchdown, and ever since, it's been all Tampa Bay. Buccaneers 17, Dolphins 7. Back with the second quarter in a moment.
The lease rate looks good, but I want it with no down payment.
Now, get 0 down payment leases at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. That's right, the leases you want with the best number you can get. 0 down payment. Example, lease the hot-selling Plymouth Neon for this low monthly rate with 0 down payment. Get it now at Chrysler Plymouth, the 0 down payment leases. We hear you. Only at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer, the leasing store.
At Boston Chicken, we started with honest-to-goodness meals. Chicken that's slow-roasted, juicy, and delicious, as well as freshly prepared side dishes, like our mashed potatoes made from scratch. But now, we're so much more. Introducing the new Boston Market, a place where you can go for great home-style meals, like rotisserie roasted turkey breast, double-glazed ham, and double-sauced meatloaf. Now we're more than just great chicken. We're the new Boston Market.
I read the Tampa Tribune. It's got everything you need in it.
Very informative.
My favorite newspaper is definitely the Trib.
It's always on top of everything. Keeps me up on current events.
Oh, man, I love it all.
The Tampa Tribune. There's something extra in it for you every day.
I read the Tampa Tribune. It's got everything you need in it.
Informative. I go immediately to the business section.
I love the sports section. I like the Metro section.
It's always there, and it's always on top of everything.
The Tampa Tribune. There's something extra in it for you every day.
Part of the big crowd at the Citrus Bowl tonight, soaking up a Buccaneers lead of 10 points now for the Chrysler Plymouth. First quarter summary began with an 80-yard drive by the Dolphins, a 4-yard run from Parmalee, 7-0. Then Houston with a field goal for the Bucs. The big play, though, I think, was that INT for a touchdown by Martin Mayhew. what it's been so far, but here come the Dolphins at the 45 after the interception. Marino sidearms it, almost intercepted again. My goodness. Diving was John Lynch. He almost picked one off.
And Santana Dotson in there with the pressure on Dan Marino. And as a defensive lineman, I can't imagine too many guys in the league that you'd rather get your hands on. You know what I mean? I mean, you're getting your hands on a legend right here, and he just wants to get him by the belly and swung him around a little bit. Dan's a big boy, though, 224 pounds, and couldn't quite yank him off those pins.
So after the interception by Miami, the Dolphins could not do anything with it, and forced the punt again. Kidd to Edmonds. This one very high. Edmonds lets it bounce at the 10. He did the right thing. It'll be down inside the 10-yard line by the Miami Dolphins. Frankie Smith is there first. So John Kidd, his best punt of the night. Early in the second quarter, Buccaneers up by 10, coming back with the football.
What a sandwich.
Taco Bell introduces the Texas Taco Sandwich. Oven-baked flatbread with chicken or beef and a tangy southwestern sauce. Starting at 99 cents. Tastes so big, it ought to be outlawed.
The news is out. Lincoln is the best-selling luxury line in America. And during the Lincoln Luxury Sales Drive, your Lincoln dealer is celebrating with generous financial incentives on all Lincolns. Discover the uncompromising comfort of Lincoln Town Car and drive away with $2,000 customer cash. Move fast and get $1,000 cash back on Mark 8. Plus ask about special incentives on Lincoln Continental. The Lincoln Luxury Sales Drive, the most opportune time all year to drive off in. America's #1.
More choice, less money. Paragon Cable is here for you.
More choice, less money means free installation when you get standard cable and order our HBO discount value package. Get all your favorite movies on HBO, plus get a universal remote, a smart box, several pay-per-view channels, and more. It's all just $29.95 a month, and installation is free. Just call 1-800-800-CABLE today.
More choice, less money. Paragon Cable.
Welcome back to the Citrus Bowl. Offensive coordinator Gary Stevens having a word with Dan Marino after that last Miami drive went bust.
Gary Stevens working with the Miami Dolphins and, of course, Miami Hurricanes as well. And there's Rusty Tillman, who has to be a little bit excited. You know, Rusty's spent a lot of times coaching those special teams guys and then got the chance as defensive coordinator in Seattle and now coming down here. And I think Rusty is just about as excited as I've seen him about any group of football players.
Here's a test for Dilfer. He's got the worst field position he's had all night. 1st and 10 on the 6. Let's see what happens for the Buccaneers here. Leading by 10. Don't want to make the big mistake. There's a pretty good way to cover it up. Derrick Brooks turns down to the 25, but he fumbles the football. And the chase is on. I believe Harris got it back for Tampa Bay. Bucs maintain possession. Jackie Harris.
Jackie Harris got there. Eric Brett with the fumble, but I tell you who impressed me. Big Paul Gruber, number 74, was right there if Jackie Harris had missed it. But how many holes have we seen like this so far? Right up the gut of the Miami Dolphins. Eric Brett may never come out of this ball game. He's having a ball.
Brett wanted more playing time coming into the game tonight. Not that he was complaining, but he just wants to be razor sharp when they meet the Eagles in Philly a week from Sunday. And he's looked at tonight. Why not? I'm going to ride that horse a little bit. Flag on the play. Brett dragged down after a gain of 2. Marco Coleman running it. Oh, offside against the Dolphins.
Like somebody over there on the right side moved and shows good presence on the part of Trent Dilfer, changing up that snap count. Well, it's tough enough blocking those 300-pound defensive linemen, and they have the snap count figured out. It's really hard.
Outside, right tackle, 5 yards, the first down.
Well, Coleman, they say, was offside on the play. You know, you bring up a good point, though. The holes we've been seeing in that Miami defense. I know Tim Bowens isn't here, as you said. We know that Ryan Cox didn't even make the trip. But you still got Empton up there, and Klingbeil and Coleman and Armstrong.
I'll tell you, Steve Edmonds got a way to go to prove that he's going to be a factor for the Miami Dolphins. They gave him a so sure that they're all that impressed with what he's done so far.
The Bucs doubling the Dolphins on the ground so far tonight. And something screwed up here. Here comes the flag. I wonder what took him so long. We'll march it back 5 now. I think Tony Mayberry, the center, was messed up on the count. Collier got the tackle.
But you know, if the center goes early, it shouldn't be a penalty. Center goes early, well, there's no motion. He's allowed to
There is
snap
no play. False start. Left guard moving prior to the snap. 5 yards. First down. Charles McCray.
So if Charles McCray moves before the ball, then you've got a problem.
Rutland.
Oh, McCray with a little. The problem wasn't that he moved; he just didn't get set. So I think you were absolutely right with your first analysis. Tony Mayberry just snapped it too soon and got one pinned on Charles McCray.
Well, look out. Miami secondary. High C. Copeland is in the game. This ought to be interesting. He initially lined up as a fullback. They split him out of the way.
He must have lost his mind.
And something else is wrong here, too. Dilfer and the Bucs may have drawn too much time, or may have been an illegal formation.
Did you...
Play again. Offense. 5 yards.
How are you at reading lips? How about it for a second-year quarterback getting a little cocky and chewing out the head coach? He said, come on, Sam, get the thing in here on time.
I like it.
I like it, too. How about that?
I think Sam likes it, too.
Kangaroo Court may not like it too much tomorrow, but...
First down and 15. Copeland in motion. The givers the workman for negligible yardage in the middle. A host of Dolphins there. Dwight Hollier among them. And there is the guy that dwarfs Shula there. That guy used to play for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he was one of those guys, just kind of another guy out there. Yeah. Really wasn't very good at all. And, oh, my goodness. He scared me to death just walking on the field.
You could outrun him, though.
Oh, man, not by much. He was something. L.C. Greenwood, Jack Ham, Jack Lambert, those guys were awesome.
Follow the 24. Workman again, and he is racked up. Vince is not having a decent series here. Singleton says hello and goodbye. Chris Singleton.
Chris Singleton, really a very promising guy, had that ankle injury and sort of wrote him off, and then last season came back and played well. But boy, did he do a nice job fighting off that block. I think Ian Beckles came out there and got a mouthful from Chris Singleton.
Third down and 14 from the 23. Copeland to the bottom of the screen. Up top is Lamar Thomas. Thomas working against J.B. Brown. See if they go that way. Dilfer flushed out to his left. Somebody's got to come open. Nobody there, and Dilfer does the intelligent thing with Jeff Cross on his tail. Reggie Roby in to attempt his first run of the night.
Chuck Klingbeil got the initial pressure up front. And, one of the things that we have not seen so far is an attempt to get the football to Alvin Harper. I think that Alvin Harper probably would like to have a chance to catch the ball, get tackled, get into the flow of things, because you don't want to go into opening day really out of sync.
Harper on the sidelines. Reggie Roby. O.J. McDuffie in single safety at the 30. He'll veer to the sidelines and stay in bounds. And the initial hit on him was Lonnie March. Upset McDuffie's balance, and out of bounds he goes. But again, great field position for the Dolphins. This will be around the 40-yard line. Buccaneers on top, 17-7. Back in a moment.
The lease rate looks good, but I want it with no down payment.
Now, get 0 down payment leases at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. That's right, the leases you want with the best number you can get. 0 down payment. Example, lease the hot-selling Plymouth Neon for this low monthly rate with 0 down payment. Get it now at Chrysler Plymouth, the 0 down payment leases. We hear you. Only at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer, the leasing store.
I've always wanted to do this. With NFL Sunday Ticket on DirecTV, you get up to 13 regular season games live every Sunday. So if Washington is blowing out the Bucs, just switch to the 49ers Saints game. But hey, is Emmitt Smith breaking a rushing record? Are the Giants crushing the Eagles? You get it. Not on cable, but with DirecTV and this. Now that's a game plan. To get NFL Sunday Ticket on the 18-inch DSS dish of your choice, call 1-800-DIRECTV.
It's unbelievable.
The great cars and the great deals are at Nissan's unbelievable model year-end event. Like a Nissan Altima, for a short time you can lease an amazingly equipped Altima GXE, but no down payment and just $249 a month.
It's unbelievable.
Stop by a Nissan dealer today, because the deals may seem unbelievable, but they won't be around for long.
Unbelievable.
Let's have a cheer from the swashbucklers. Young ladies having a fine time tonight in Orlando.
Now, who's the guy in the middle right there? How do you get that job? I don't know. Something tells me that's not a paying job for that guy in the middle.
Shouldn't be. And that parrot, that guy inside that parrot, he's got to be sweating.
He should get paid.
Yeah.
He should apply for that other job.
First and 10 Dolphins at their own 38. Here is Irving Spikes with a pitch out. He picks up about 4 where John Lynch nails him. Spikes, an exciting running back out of Northeast Louisiana, second year.
Talking to Rusty Tillman before the ball game about John Lynch and Barney Bussey at the strong safety position. He said, Chris, I can't split him. He's got a good look there at Irving Spikes, and he's going to make the ball club this year. Of course, once he gets that knee all fixed up and gets back 100%, he's going to be fine. But as far as the strong safety position, I don't know that they've figured out who's going to start between Barney and John Lynch.
They both had excellent preseason. Spikes again, cuts it to the outside, and does a nice job near the first down marker. And Hardy Nickerson wraps him up. Wasn't in time.
Never any doubt about the intensity of one Hardy Nickerson. That time just put the move on Eric Green to get back in, and also had to run over a couple other guys in the process. Lee McClinton got in Hardy's way, and good work there for Keith Poe, who's flying around the football and very much in the hunt. I don't know who they're going to keep. Between Poe and Spindler and Herman Smith and Todrick McIntosh, they only get to keep 3, but they've all of them played well so far tonight.
Pressure on Marino, forces him to dump it in the flat. That was Derrick Brooks again, Chris, with his arms around Marino's waist.
I like Derrick Brooks better coming that way, coming after the quarterback. A lot of times rookies can get lost trying to play in the intricate coverages in the league, but there's absolutely no chance for Keith Sims. He had a molly block, he had to check inside, come outside, and with Derrick Brooks on the outside, you can't do that. You got to come straight out there if you're going to pick him up.
And I don't think Marino has Derrick Brooks in mind as his dancing partner. Arms around his waist that time. Second down and 10.
Marino looks a little frustrated.
Steps up and fires over the middle, and an excellent defensive play there by the Buccaneers, number 29, Kenneth Gann. Or is it Dimry? Charles Dimry.
39 instead of 29. Looked like Charles Dimry. And Charles Dimry has been brilliant during the course of this exhibition season. I mean, they told me coming in that he was their best cover man. And I really didn't think that much of Charles Dimry. Not that I didn't thought he was a bad player. I just never knew he was this good. I haven't seen him beaten the entire preseason.
Dimry, 8-year veteran out of UNLV, came over for the Denver Broncos. Third down and 10, Miami. Marino has a streak going. Not one he'll write home about. 0 for his last 8 in the air. Tries to break it here. The coverage is there. The receiver, Irving Fryer, and it's broken up. And Dimry again, but he's not standing.
Dimry is still coming off.
One thing you don't want to do is have injuries in the last preseason.
This was not even close. Dan Marino tried to get something that simply was not there. Fryer was completely covered, and let's see if he twists the knee or an ankle or exactly what happened. He stepped on his foot. Okay, now that makes you feel better. Looked like the left foot came down on top of the right foot. A bruise you can
Jesse Tillman again has to be pleased with his defensive unit. Good news, friends. Dimry appears to be okay on the sidelines. Back with more in a moment.
Oh, she's got to notice me when she comes by. I mean, look at me. What's not to notice? I'm here. I tell you, if you want to feel good, you got to look good. And if I'm going to run good, I got to feel good. Look at me. I'm designed for a high-octane gas. I love it. That's what I need. This Chevron Supreme with Tech Run. I mean, it makes me run like a champ. It's all good stuff. I mean, it's mind-boggling.
No premium outperforms new Chevron Supreme with Tech Run. Chevron, simply smarter.
I mean, I don't mean to brag or anything, but I feel stupendous.
Hey! Hey! Huge sale at your local Southern Ford dealer. The model year-end clearance sale. Making room for 96s with great deals on 95. Like $2,000 cash back or 5.9 financing on Ford Taurus. America's best-selling car. Or lease the Contour for only $199 a month. Hey! Gotta go!
Heard about the sale at your local Southern Ford dealer?
Hey!
You will.
Hey, anybody want to split a pizza? Sure. Pepperoni okay? Ready.
There's nothing quite like a delicious pan pizza from Pizza Hut.
Where are you?
Over here.
Which way?
In the corner.
Whoa.
Come on in.
With its thick golden crust, abundant toppings, and all that cheese.
Is this company named after you or your dad?
Me?
Oh, cool.
It's meant to be shared.
Right now, get any 2 medium pizzas for just $12.99.
Alvin Harper fans among that contingent from Tampa Bay. I don't think we're going to see Harper the rest of the night, Chris. He is in uniform. He's on the sideline, but maybe not 100%.
Hasn't got a pass so far during the course of the exhibition season, but obviously not much doubt about his talents. And it's interesting the comments of Jimmy Johnson. He said that they should have spent the money on Harper and on center Mark Stepnoski instead of saving it up for Deion Sanders.
I was saying that Johnson would say something negatively about his old team. Really surprising. Here's a great catch by Lamar Thomas. First down, J.B. Brown on the push-up. But going up to get that one was the third-year man out of Miami.
And Lamar Thomas really has been coming on in the past couple of weeks. Touchdown passes against Cincinnati and again last week against Pittsburgh. He's in the battle against Tyree Davis for that final receiving spot.
Again, the scoreboard clock is inoperable. We'll try and give you a time check when we can. Dilfer stepping up. Got to run with it. He better get down. He better get down. And he's brought down to the turf finally by Trace Armstrong.
You know, I really don't mind seeing that. I know how important he is to this football team. Obviously, Casey Weldon can play, but he's even dinged up. But from an offensive lineman standpoint, when you see the big guy, the big money guy going out there and running around and playing that hard, it makes you want to block just a little bit more for him.
Second down at about 5 at the 36-yard line. Give us to Eric Rett. First down. And more. Eric Rett. Single in the guard.
One of the interesting sort of sidelights to that play, not only a good play, a nice hole on the play, but that time Alvin Harper was out here about to throw a block. He heard the thundering hooves coming towards him and just sort of turned around and said, all right, Eric, you're on your own from here on out.
And at least this prognosticator stands corrected right there. Alvin Harper is back in the game, as you see. So he must be feeling okay. 10-yard run, first down for the Bucs. Gilford has to get out of traffic. Hey, look at him go, and he'll draw the flag there. I'm pretty sure it's going to be intentional grounding. And Trent, you can argue all you want, son, but that's a good call.
He may get himself thrown out of this ball game. You better be careful. You can intentionally ground the football. The rule is when you're outside the pocket, if you can get it to the line of scrimmage. That time, did not reach the line of scrimmage. Thank you very much. Nice having those referees' mics working. So here he is. He gets outside the pocket. This would have been a perfectly legitimate, incomplete pass had he got the ball to the line of scrimmage. Didn't make it.
And Trace Armstrong had himself a fistful of jersey to help bring him down. I'm sure when Trent and the coaching staff look at the films, they'll realize that it was an accurate call by Tom White.
And chance to play in his place. And Armstrong, the better pass rusher. Tim Bowen's excellent against the run, as is Chuck Klingbeil. But Trace Armstrong gives him a little bit of a pass rush up front. I believe that's Tom Olivadotti right there, the defensive coordinator.
That's right. Former member of the University of Miami staff, along with Jerry Stevens, before coming into the NFL. Second down and 22 after the intentional grounding. Remember, a launch it down goes with it. Again, the pressure by Armstrong, and Trace Armstrong buries Trent Dilfer. Oh, man, just like he used to do with the Bears.
And Scott Dill got killed over here on the right side. Trace Armstrong flew around the corner, and it was no contest. And really, to be honest, if he didn't get there, Aubrey Beavers was right behind him. Trace Armstrong already with an interception and a sack, a huge game.
And a no huddle. There goes Dilfer. Pass is intercepted. Picked off by the Dolphins, number 23, Troy Vincent. And Vincent carries it back to the 43-yard line. Well, they went with a hurry-up trying to catch Miami asleep. Troy Vincent was wide away.
All right, sloppy series that time by Trent Dilfer. And Sam White has hold of him on the sideline, and Trent needs to get himself under control. That's not what you want out of your quarterback.
Settle down those emotions. We'll come back in a moment. Late in the first half, Buccaneers up by 10.
There's only one category where Chevy Camaro does not exceed other sports car standards. Introducing the 1995 Camaro from Chevrolet. With horsepower the Mustang only dreams about. And an integrated rear spoiler, you'll never forget it's a sports car. Plus, just for safety's sake, Camaro comes with dual airbags and anti-lock brakes. Standard. Get into a real American sports machine for under $15,000. The Chevy Camaro. What are you waiting for? See it now at your local Chevy dealer.
The inspiration for Shell's drive to the Super Bowl scratch-off game is pretty obvious. You just play and you can scratch your way to the big game. There's over 7 million prizes. 1995 Ford Mustang, resort vacations, GTE phone cards. With a 1 in 10 chance of winning, the odds look good. All you have to do is, well, you know, play Shell's drive to the Super Bowl sweepstakes. Pick up a game piece at a Shell station near you.
No more talking, no more waiting. Now's the time for action. It's Pontiac closeout time. Hundreds of new 95 Pontiacs still in stock. Look at that selection. Get $1,000 closeout cash back on full-size Bonneville. $1,000 cash back on new 95 Pontiac Transport. Act now. Get $500 cash back on new Grand Am. $500 cash back on new Grand Prix sedan. Hurry to closeout 95. See your local Florida Pontiac dealers. Act now.
We understand on the TV show Coach this year that Hayden Fox goes to the pros, and they're shooting the cover shots. They call cover scenes here at this game tonight at the Citrus Bowl.
Yeah, and he's going to be coaching an expansion franchise in Orlando. But here's the bigger story. Don't know exactly what happened to Trent Dilfer, but they've been working on that left or right knee since he's gotten to the sideline. And better well believe that that'll be the end of the night for Trent Dilfer.
Now, Casey Weldon, as we speak, is warming up on the sidelines. Marino under pressure, but finds his man. Out on the right flat, Terry Kirby for big yards into Buccaneer territory. Clifton Abraham on the tackle.
Great job of reading the coverage there by Dan Marino. They ended up with Kirby working against Chidi Ahanatu. They had one of those schemes where the left end drops off into coverage, and as soon as Dan saw that, wasn't much doubt where that football was going.
Well, that breaks an 0 for 9 drought. Now they stopped working on Dilfer, and he's just sitting calmly on the bench.
I don't know if calmly's the word after what we saw him coming off the field.
Well, he's sitting. First down at 10 on the Buccaneer 42-yard line. 17-7 Tampa Bay. Marino over the middle, finds big tight end Derrick Green for another first down. John Lynch on the tackle.
You know, it's interesting for Dan Marino. He started the game going to Derrick Green, had the great success, comes back. They've been having all kinds of problems, goes 0 for 7, 0 for 8, whatever it was in a row, comes back now to Derrick Green, and there's the big guy. That's exactly what he did for Neil O'Donnell in Pittsburgh, too, like a pacifier for a quarterback. When all else goes wrong, look for the guy, 285 pounds of tight end.
Sort of hard to chuck a guy at the line of scrimmage.
Oh, my goodness. How do you get out of his way?
And he can go anywhere he wants.
He is a bona fide stud.
Second consecutive first down for Marino. The Dolphins with their most impressive drive since the opening one of the game. Gets it out to the youngster, Lee McClinton, out of New Hampshire. Derrick Brooks brings him down. Now, McClinton, he didn't even play full-time at the University of New Hampshire, but here he is still with the Dolphins.
They've had so many injury problems. Of course, Keith Byars has been out. Robert Wilson didn't even make the trip. And they're pretty open about the fact that McClinton probably would have already been cut. But here's a guy couldn't even really start the entire year for his college team, as you talked about, and now catching balls from Dan Marino. Why not? Rudy.
You got to watch out for those Yankee Conference boys.
There you go. They don't make them any better.
New Hampshire, Delaware, what's the difference? Just had to slip that in. McDuffie in motion to the right. Parmalee inside the 10 down to the 7-yard line. And a flag after the play. In on the tackle was Clifton Abraham. And march back against the Dolphins. Holding.
Well, most teams you say, well, that kills that drive. With Dan Marino, you start thinking, well, now he's got more room to work in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, it's the receivers have more room to run their patterns.
Holding. 61 offense. 10 yards. Still first down.
I think there's only one other quarterback in my mind that has pulled more games out of the fire when you thought they were lost. Roger Staubach used to do it for a living. And Marino's right up there.
Right? Now you're going to kill me, because I was a part of that Super Bowl where Joe Montana came back, and at least add him to the list.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
There's big Tim Ruddy out of Notre Dame, who a genius of a guy, 3.86 grade point average, 4.0 as a senior, and replacing Jeff Dellenbach in that offensive line. And Don Shula really loves him up front.
Solid first and 20 down to 21. Marino under pressure over the middle. Touchdown to Parmalee. Beat Clifton Abraham for the score.
The master, Edward. Did you see him just sort of drift that one in there? He saw Abraham with his back turned, and it was just so easy. I mean, when it works and when it's pretty and when it's good, it's just this sweet. But just a little flip, no problem. And the bad news, though, is, as you said, he beat Clifton Abraham, and there's a guy that is trying to impress. He is getting the chance to be the nickelback here for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Stoyanovich on for the extra point. Puts it through, and it's a 3-point football game again. Marino ups his totals now to 8 for 17, 135 yards on the night.
And this is, Dan Marino's not a mobile guy in the pocket. But the one thing he does is he can make his throws with people all around. He never seems to let that pass rush bother him whatsoever. And Bernie Parmalee really continues to impress here in the preseason. He had a big game against Washington, coming right back here. And I think on opening day, you're going to see him as that starting back.
Casey Weldon is getting set to come into this football game after the kickoff. He's finished his warm-ups. He has his helmet on. Looking down below to see where Trent Dilfer is. Wilcox is the third dressed quarterback tonight. Back in single safety for the Buccaneers, Jerry Wilson.
And there's Dilfer. He's on the sideline. He has his helmet off and appears to be okay.
Well, one good thing about playing these last exhibition games on Thursday or Friday night, you get those extra 1 or 2 days, and that can make a difference going into the first
Yeah,
week.
but it's almost getting to be ridiculous now. They're backing them up to Thursday, and teams really, you almost get to the point where they think, well, maybe they ought to just eliminate. And there's been a lot of talk around the league about eliminating 2 of the preseason games and playing an 18-game regular season. But I tend to doubt it. These preseason games, they pay their players about $500 a game, and instead of the $250,000 that Dan Marino usually gets.
Yeah, it all comes down to money. Look for the system to stay in place. Taken at the 5-yard line by Jerry Wilson. And Wilson is hog-tied and gets up from it around the 20-yard line. He first got hit by Dwayne Dotson and fell forward to the 25 as Casey Weldon comes in for the first time since week 1.
And Casey Weldon has had some problems with his shoulder. He has an injury just inside the, right on the clavicle, collarbone, if you will, on the right side, the throwing arm side. And so it'll be interesting to see if he's ready to go.
Under 4 minutes to go here in the first half. The pitch out to Eric Rett may have lost a yard or so. Helping to break that play up again was Trace Armstrong, who's really come on.
Yeah, I think Trace Armstrong's really added an element now to this Miami defense, and Tim Bowens may be wishing that he didn't have to stay at home.
3:35 to go in the half. Dilfer on the night, 4 out of 6, 62 yards, 1 touch, 1 INT. Harper in motion. And in the backfield for the Miami Dolphins, Chuck Klingbeil says hello to Eric Rett.
There's never been any doubt about Chuck Klingbeil's ability to play the run. That is his strength. Signed as a free agent in 91. The guy was never drafted in the National Football League. Played in 89 and 90 with the Saskatchewan Rough Riders of the CFL, and apparently no one thought that much of him. And now here he is, a starter in the National Football League.
Any guy who can play college ball in northern Michigan and live to tell about it, he's tough. It gets pretty darn cold up there. I know. They're down in 14. Weldon over the middle, and stretching for it is Dawsey, and just can't corral that football. Louis Oliver on the coverage.
I'll tell you what, Trace Armstrong is starting to get some respect. They're now double teaming him on the outside, and Lawrence Dawsey, even though that is a very tough play, how many times have we seen him make that catch? Really one of my favorite football players. Lawrence Dawsey's a guy not very fast, doesn't have the great leaping ability, but man, does he make plays.
Reggie Roby punting deep in his own territory. This is where Roby can really be a weapon for you as McDuffie stands at his own 38. See if Roby can push him back.
Still punting into the wind.
And the wind puts the kibosh on that. McDuffie calls for the fair catch and hauls it in at the 44-yard line. And for the third straight series, the Dolphins will have excellent field position. What do we have now?
Buckley, I've never seen him at the end of a play that he's not having a conversation with somebody. O.J. McDuffie said, will you please get this guy away from me? It's time for me to play offense now.
Penalty against Tampa Bay. I think Miami would decline this and take the great field spot.
Ineligible man downfield, and
ineligible member of the kicking team, number 55, downfield. Penalty is declined. Miami will take the ball. First down.
Derrick Brooks.
George Stewart not happy there, but he has to be happy overall with what he's seen from his special teams this year. Really no big plays given up, and the returns have been solid.
Marino had an 0 for 9. He's now 4 for his last 4, including a touchdown pass to Parmalee. The only score of the second period.
Well, this is such a strange Miami team. Last year, they had so many problems in the first quarter. A league low 22 points the entire season scored in the first quarter, and it has to mystify the Miami coaching staff when they look at that stat when you've got weapons like they have on this offense, and especially number 13 playing quarterback.
Marino apparently will go the entire first half. Just over 2 minutes left in the first half of play. Live action from the Citrus Bowl on Channel 44 tonight. Hope you're enjoying it in the Tampa Bay area. And here's a little flip. They're Irving spikes, and this kid can make these plays into something big. There he goes to the 35-yard line. Melvin Johnson brought him down, but I'm telling you, I saw this kid last year make the team, Chris. He's shifty.
And another one of those guys that went undrafted, fell through the cracks on draft day in the National Football League, but you called it. It looked like this thing was going to get stopped for absolutely no gain. Darnell Stevens had a good hold on him, but not for long.
2-minute warning. Dolphins threatening, but trailing Tampa Bay by 3.
When I'm in my Jimmy, nothing gets in my way. Of course, I've got Jimmy's available 4-wheel drive anti-lock brakes and premium smooth suspension. Yeah, when I'm in my Jimmy, I'm in complete control.
Daddy!
It's when I get out that I begin to panic.
GMC Jimmy, thousands less than comparably equipped Jeep Grand Cherokee or Ford Explorer. See your Suncoast GMC truck dealer today.
into the ring for the first time in 4 years. Now, see the most anticipated boxing event of the year. The return of Mike Tyson. Talk about a controversial ending. Well, there's one place to see it. Tyson versus McNeely. Coming soon. Tyson on Showtime. Talk about exciting.
In the everyday world, you go through a lot to make that meeting. With the world-class network from GTE,
everything ready? You bet.
you simply go down the hall.
Margaret, hi, how are you?
Change the way you work.
You cut your hair.
Change the way you live. It's amazing what you can do with the world-class network from GTE.
Final 2 minutes of the first half away. Big crowd having a big time tonight. Always exciting when the Bucs and Dolphins get together, whether it means something or not. It always means something to the people in the stands.
I've never seen a game, preseason or otherwise, that didn't mean something to number 13. I mean, Dan Marino, doesn't matter if you catch him on the golf course or the basketball court or wherever, man wants to win.
Just keep this in mind. Irving Fryer has not been heard from tonight. They've only thrown to him once. He's put out wide to the left. The give is to Irving Spikes. Riding his back was number 77, Mark Wheeler.
Mark Wheeler's made an impression during the course of the preseason. Bit of a disappointment a year ago, but he's come back, spent a lot of time working after practice, and made a nice hustle play there.
With your man out of Texas A&M, 2nd down and 7. Spikes again inside the 30 to the 29. The Dolphins continue working on their rushing game. Minute and a half to go in the half.
Everybody thought the world was coming to an end last year for the Dolphins when Bernie Parmalee and Irving Spikes ended up manning the running back chores. But all those guys did was just simply get the job done for the Miami Dolphins. Their running game was fine.
Well, the Buccaneers, win or lose tonight, I think, had a pretty good preseason. They open up against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Dolphins will go home to play the New York Jets next Sunday. First of all, the Bucs and the Eagles, as we take a look at the Bucs schedule, outside of the division, this is the schedule outside of the division, and it's among the easiest in the league. Jacksonville, Carolina. Well, this is overall. Okay, they have one of the easier schedules in the league. A chance to do some business, Chris, especially if they win one of the first 2 on the road.
Yeah, if they can pull that off, then they have those games at home coming back. And Sam Weich knows the importance. I talked to him just before the ball game, going up to Philadelphia. I don't think it's a bad time to catch Philadelphia on opening day. Of course, Ray Rhodes, the new head coach, and there are stats that say that a new head coach opening at home, they just never lose. They never, ever lose, like 37-3 or some ridiculous number like that. But I'm not so sure Randall Cunningham has that new offense figured out.
I'm not either. Not at all. Here's Eric Green again. This will pick up the first down. Clock rolls on, though. Stevens the tackle. I think what the Bucs ought to do, the Eagles, after I watched last night, give them the ball to 20 and say, here, take it. You know, because you can't score a touchdown, and then we'll drive down the field on it. And Marino forced to call another timeout here. He was hot and mad about something. Putting in his 2 cents worth is Clifton Abraham. And yet another. Boy, the officials are tuning up for the regular season, too.
I think they've got this one well in hand. Too much TV time, but well in hand.
Well, remains a mystery. First down and 10. Ball on the Buccaneer 26. Marino. Under a minute to go. O.J. McDuffie. And he's down to the 10-yard line. Mike Magruder on the tackle.
You know, O.J. McDuffie is a guy that has always been getting it done for these guys, for the Miami Dolphins, especially on 3rd down. He's converted first downs on 31 of the 42 times that he touched the ball on offense last year. 16 for 16 on 3rd down. He really has become a clutch receiver.
O.J. McDuffie, sure-handed.
Doesn't mind going across the middle. A lot like Gary Clark in that way. He's not afraid of anything physical.
Yeah, top 3 receivers on this team. Not many doubts about them. We're talking about Irving Pryor and O.J. McDuffie and Gary Clark. You've got Randall Hill in the mix as well. And Randall Hill, not a real consistent guy, but gives them the speed element. Originally drafted by the Dolphins, had a little contractual blow-up, sent him off to the Cardinals for a while, and now he comes back, and they still managed to pick up Troy Benson in the process. So overall, a good deal.
Haven't seen Ricky Sanders tonight for Miami.
Yeah, and that's a surprise because he's a guy that I think has proven his worth, but he's got to be struggling for playing time now.
Randall Hill split out wide to the top of the screen. 55 seconds to go in the first half. 17-14 Bucs. Dolphins threatening, and here is Kirby. Nice pickup. Anytime inside the 10 you can run for 5 yards or more, you're doing good, and Bussey brings him down.
Well, as soon as Terry Kirby's knee gets completely healthy, then he will be the starting back. No doubt about that for the Dolphins.
Hurry-up call from Marino, no huddle. Called a couple of plays before. Throw into the end zone, and it's knocked down. Knocked down there by Mike Magruder.
Scooter Magruder. Probably not anybody in the world named Magruder that's not nicknamed Scooter, but Mike Magruder coming in and diving. That ball was thrown behind O.J. McDuffie, or it would have been 6.
32 seconds, you understand, left in the half. Again, the scoreboard game clock is inoperable. And a 3rd down and 2. Marino on the night, 11 of 21 for a $174. 1 TD, 1 pick.
Didn't surprise me to see them come right back with the exact same play because not only was McDuffie open, so was Terry Kirby coming out of the backfield.
And 30 seconds, 32 seconds left in the half. 3rd down. And goal, Marino. Plenty of time now. It closes it, throws it for grabs. It's intercepted in the end zone. Magruder. Scooter brought it in, but the man who made the play was the fellow who rushed Dan Marino.
And it looked like Keith Poe, who is having one heck of a night. I almost want to say congratulations, Keith Poe, on making the football team. Marino just simply took too long. Give the secondary credit for forcing Dan Marino to pull it down, and Keith Poe got there, and you won't see Dan Marino make this kind of mistake again for a long, long time. Field goal would have tied the game, and he just threw it up in the air. That looked more like what you would expect from Trent Dilfer. Marino's made some poor throws tonight and some poor decisions.
Yeah, that's not like Marino anytime, especially in the last preseason game. Well, Casey Weldon, with under 30 seconds to go in the first half, gets it at the 20-yard line. Gives it off to Vince Workman. Stutter stepping his way to the 27. Marco Coleman brings him down. Sam just wants to get in the locker room with a 3-point lead. You see, wind the clock down, he says.
I think he's happy.
Yep.
I think Sam enjoyed this half and got a chance to show off with the coach, Hayden Fox, and gets a nice ovation from the local crowd. And why not? Go in and enjoy it.
Well, the first half is over. Timeout for the Lincoln Mercury. Second quarter summary. Only one scoring play in that second quarter. That's from Dan Marino to Vernie Parmalee. And it makes it a 3-point game at halftime as the interception in the end zone keeps the Buccaneers on top. At the end of the first half, Tampa Bay 17 and Miami 14. We'll be back with more from the Citrus Bowl in Orlando with the score 17-14 Bucs in a moment. Now stay tuned for the special halftime edition of 44 News at 10.
Now, a halftime update from 44 News at 10.
Good evening to you. Thanks for joining us. Quite a game we've got going tonight. Well, for 44 News, here is a halftime report for you.
And we begin with what everyone seems to be talking about tonight, the flooding. Flooding clear across the state thanks to Tropical Storm Jerry. Here in the Bay Area, more than 5 inches of rain has fallen throughout the day. You're looking at one of the hardest hit areas, Bayshore Boulevard in Tampa. For a while, part of the road was closed. Unless you had a boat, there was no making it through the mess.
Folks to the south of us are really getting hit hard by this tropical weather washout. More than 15 inches of rain has fallen in parts of Collier County. The kids seem to be enjoying the wet stuff, and we even caught up with a person who was fishing in the street, of all places. But the rain is taking its toll on homeowners. Many of them are trying to clean up from the super soaker tonight.
And Jerry isn't our only concern this evening. That terrible twosome and more are still churning in the Atlantic. Wendy Ross and our team of AccuWeather meteorologists have been keeping an eye on the situation, and Wendy has the very latest.
Julie, first of all, we are going to say goodbye to Jerry. Jerry has now moved up into Georgia. You can almost see the circulation right here as the center of the storm continues to be right here in Georgia. And also notice that we are still feeling the effects of Jerry, even here in the Tampa Bay area. We do have some bands of heavier rain still moving onshore. We also have some heavier showers over the southeastern part of the state, but the brunt of the weather for tonight is going to be across Georgia and into South Carolina, where they are expecting as much as 4 inches of rain. Now let's go out into the tropics, and you'll be able to see Iris and Umberto. Iris first. Iris has some good news for us to report. It is moving towards the west at 10 miles per hour, but it appears as though it's going to start to make more of a southwesterly movement. That would put it south of the islands, and that is good news. Additional good news is 55-mile-per-hour winds, so it has lost some of its punch. You can see here the coordinates right here. And a quick look at Umberto. These are the latest coordinates, 105-mile-per-hour winds, and it is moving north, which will put it right into the central Atlantic. And that's good news because it's not going to be bothering anybody. And right after the game, we are going to have the latest coordinates for you on all of these storms, and we'll bid a fond and farewell to Jerry. That'll be coming up. Pat?
All right, Wendy. In other news tonight, Mark Johnson will spend the next 16 years behind bars. Johnson was sentenced today in Tampa. Last month, a jury found him guilty of shooting to death Tampa attorney Frank Vaccaro. Coming up tonight after the game, you will hear from the victim's father as he confronts his son's killer.
St. Petersburg Junior College's special tax referendum will go to voters on Tuesday. A judge today threw out a lawsuit that said the wording on the referendum is too confusing. If approved, the tax will raise some $33 million, all earmarked for school renovations. Now, in just a few moments, we're going to send you back to the second half of the Bucs-Dolphins game, but right now we want to know how you think the Bucs will do this season. Think they're up to snuff? Fax, email, or give us a call on 44 online. Our fax number, 576-3942. Email, news44@aol.com, or sound off on our new 44 voicemail. The number's 576-NEWS. We will share some of your responses tonight after the game.
Termite trouble and the blame game next.
Thomas Bale's a shooter.
You really captured something extraordinary.
He took a picture he shouldn't have taken.
They're watching you.
He was at the right place at the wrong time.
What the hell is going?
Now his entire life is about to be taken away, even his past.
Who are they, Allison?
But the secret he's hiding, the negatives, is keeping him alive.
Most people choose to cooperate.
The chase has just begun. Bruce Greenwood stars in Nowhere Man.
Premieres Monday night at 9.
There's something I want to ask you.
Hey! Huge sale at your local Southern Ford dealer. The model year-end clearance sale. Making room for 96s with great deals on 95s. Like cash back or low APR on Ford Ranger. $1,000 cash back on Windstar. Even great deals on Explorer. Hey! Gotta take the plunge.
Heard about the sale at your local Southern Ford dealer?
Hey!
You will.
Support the new Tampa Children's Hospital.
On Long Island, New York, an aerial assault is being waged on an out-of-control brush fire. The flames are eating away at an area known as the Hamptons. Already more than 6,000 acres have been destroyed. Firefighters think the fire was deliberately set. Several homes have been damaged. Senator Bob Packwood drops a bit of a bombshell on the Senate Ethics Committee. Packwood says he wants public hearings into charges he sexually harassed at least 20 women. Now, earlier he said that he didn't want the public forum, but now he says that he wants to confront his accusers. No word yet on whether he will get that chance.
And once again, if you want to tell us how you think the Bucs will fare this season, 44 Online is waiting to hear from you. Fax us at 576-3942. Our email number, news44@aol.com, or just pick up the phone and dial 576-NEWS. Your responses are coming up tonight on 44 News after the game.
Well, you buy a home and later you discover it's got termites. You had it inspected by a termite company and the building inspector. The building inspector tells you that since he knows nothing about bugs, he can't be expected to recognize structural damage they've caused. The termite inspector knows he has a problem, but initially he wants to avoid any expense. Both of these guys are state licensed, so you'll have no problem. The state will make them live up to their responsibilities, right? Wrong. Tonight, after the game, we will show you how bad it can get. Caveat emptor. Buyer beware. That's all the time we have for you right now. I'm Patrick Emery.
And I'm Julie Brannon. We'll see in a little while. Back to the Bucs game, and be sure and stay tuned for a late edition of 44 News at 10. See you then.
Right now, everybody's talking closeout. We're talking $1,500 cash direct to you on the luxurious Buick Park Avenue. Apply the cash to a special new Park Avenue lease and bring home this beautifully equipped Buick for $399 a month with only $752 down. So, whether you buy or lease, get up to $1,500 cash direct to you at your Florida Buick dealer. Come on, what are you waiting for?
Wouldn't you really rather have a Buick?
What a sandwich!
Taco Bell introduces the Texas Taco Sandwich. Oven-baked flatbread with chicken or beef and a tangy southwestern sauce. Starting at 99 cents. It tastes so big, it ought to be outlawed. Yummy.
Corolla, a benchmark of quality for 28 years. It's Toyota's nationwide sales event. It's the best time to get the best. Corolla, a hot $189 a month lease puts you into the last of the new 95s. $189 a month. Incentives, options, and cash back could save you a smoking $2,400 on Corolla. Hurry into your Toyota dealer. A sales event as hot as this won't last. Toyota!
It's just 3 days between now and Wonder, the season premiere of Star Trek Voyager and Nowhere Man.
I'm Charlie Moore. I make the greatest ball in the world. I've had the honor of making the NFL game ball since 1964. Sure, my ball's been in a lot of big plays.
After all, I made 30 million of them. The catch is mine. Miracle at the middle ends. Immaculate reception. Tom Dempsey's 63-yarder, mine. I wonder where this one's going to end up.
Maybe this is going to be the winning game ball. When the season gets close, everybody starts getting excited because everybody loves football.
And a halftime entertainment goes on here at the Citrus Bowl. We hope you've been entertained by a very entertaining, I believe, first half. 31 points scored. The Buccaneers up by 3, 17-14. Tom Mees and Chris Collinsworth back with you. And Chris, reviewing the first half for those who tuned in late, it was vintage Dan Marino on the first drive of the ball game.
Yeah, it's such a strange turn of events. Dan Marino goes right down the field on the very first drive of the game, and then all of a sudden they come back the other way, and Martin Mayhew just makes a sensational play, a mistake that you don't see very much out of Dan Marino, and all of a sudden the Bucs back in front 10-7.
Yeah, that was a beautiful one-on-one effort by Martin Mayhew. That made it 10-7, and then on the next series, Trent Dilfer went to the end zone.
And this was a play just after it started raining, and watch the eyes here of Trent Dilfer, looking left, and all of a sudden Jackie Harris streaking down the right side. And this is one of those balls that goes kaboom when it comes out of the quarterback's hands. Beautifully thrown, beautifully timed. And Trent Dilfer with a nice first 3 quarters of the first half. Had a little bit of a struggle there towards the end of the half. And Dan Marino, of course, coming back right at the end and hitting Bernie Parmalee with people hanging all over him. And just made it look a little too easy. That was Clifton Abraham getting beat on the play, and there's a young man trying to make this football team. Big passing yards on the part of Dan Marino and their side of the ball. total yards, all in favor of the Dolphins, but the scoreboard says Tampa got the better of it.
And all preseason, the Buccaneers have done a great job holding the other side without the third down conversion percentages that are anything to write home about. But there you saw at the bottom of those stats there where the Buccaneers have had 4 third down conversions and not made any of them. That's perhaps only the only negative stat so far in the first half. Trent Dilfer, I think the coaching staff has to be very, very pleased with what they've seen from him now. His preseason is over, and I think he's shown what he can deliver, and he'll start delivering, I think, a week from Sunday in Philly.
And apparently he's okay. We talked some, it looked like he may have been hurt, and apparently he's okay. You know, Sam White, we see some of the Pee-wee football players out there, and I'm not talking about Clarence Verdun walking off the screen, but he was asked to give a little speech before the ball game to those guys, and he went down there and he said, now, how many of you are Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans? And for the most part, they all said, yeah, you know, there are a few Dolphins in the crowd. And this one little kid stood up and gave him the thumbs down and said, boo, boo, gave him one of those. And Sam waded back into the crowd of kids wearing their shoulder pads and their helmets, and they tackled him and piled up on him. And Sam said, I'm lying there on the ground and helpless as I could be, and I've got some kid trapped underneath me, and he was worried about him. He said, those little rascals were kind of mean out there. Look at this.
Aww.
That's what you like to see. Eric Curry giving him a little high five and saying, yeah, guys, hang with it.
What a thrill that is for those Pee-wee football players down there, Pop Warner players, high-fiving with the professionals. Major League Baseball players, take note, please.
That's fun, boy. You're talking about the thrill of a lifetime there.
Well, some of the guys you see on this list may not be with this football team after the weekend. We say may not.
Yeah, and you have the battle, really, between Clarence Verdun and Bobby Joe Edmonds, the top two. So I think they'll probably only keep one of those. Then the battle between Lamar Thomas and Tyree Davis. Tyree Davis played so well in the World League. Lamar Thomas has been much sharper in the past few weeks, and if his injury problems are behind him, then you think that he may well be the one that makes the team.
Well, Dan Marino has speculated he's done for the evening. He will open up, and I assure you, play the whole game, barring a blowout against the Jets a week from Sunday at Joe Robbie Stadium.
And my guess is that Dan Marino will make the team for the Dolphins. We're going to go out on a limb there, but I think he'll probably get it done.
You know, Chris, that one thing I've always liked about your analysis is you're not afraid to really go for it.
I'm bold. You know, I'm bold.
Well, the Whites Report. There's only one person to ask and only one station that has him. That's head coach Sam White at Channel 44. Join Sam White and Pat Boyle every Sunday night at 11 for the Whites Report. You'll see all the highlights, more than any other station, and you'll hear it all straight from the coach, not from some anchor who didn't even go to the game. I wonder who they're talking about. The Whites Report. The name says it all. I love the promotions. I get into that stuff.
That wasn't a little shot at anybody.
I think it was.
You just read them. I know. You just read them. You smile your way through them. And we won't be naming names here.
Chris, when you used to drop passes in Cincy, I gave you a shot every Sunday. Allensworth should have had that. Okay, here we go. Remember, the Dolphins won the opening toss, elected to receive, so Stoyanovich will be kicking off to the Bucs now. Jerry Wilson at his own 3.5-yard line, and for now the scoreboard clock is working again. Wilson stutter stepping, and down he goes at the 25-yard line, making the tackle for Miami, Pat Johnson. And Trent Dilfer coming back to start the third.
Just as we predicted. Have we gotten anything right yet tonight?
Hey, we're up here. We're not down there. We're not paid to make these decisions.
You know what I think this may be? Remember Trent came out of the ball game and he was all upset and he was all fired up, and Sam grabbed him and he said, hey, you've got to gain control of yourself. He may have just wanted him to come out for the first series here in the second half, just get back under control, get that rhythm he had going early in the first half of the ball game.
Very well could be. Here's Eric Rett. He had a rhythm going in the first half, and motors up to the 30-yard line. Dwight Hoyer brought him down.
Big Tony Mayberry, the center, leading the charge there and pushing the pile back. And Eric Rett still hanging around and wanting to be a part of this second half. Looks like they're going to go with the no huddle, and maybe this is the final tune-up. One series of no huddle, and because you have to believe that when they get to Philadelphia, Sam wants to see a part of this and would love to see that guy catch a pass.
Yeah, I was just going to say, maybe we'll see one thrown to Alvin Harper and see what he can do. Right now, Harper in the backfield, but that doesn't last long. Brett tries to cut it outside, can't do so as he's hauled down from behind by Audrey Beavers. First time we called his name tonight.
And let me make this point. I meant to make it earlier and just didn't. But right now, Alvin Harper is not running the way that Alvin Harper can run. You could see as he turned up the field there, just not able to sprint 100%. But that really wasn't the play. Earlier in the first half, I was watching him run a go pattern, and he just did not have the typical Alvin Harper stride going. I think he's still having some physical problems.
Eric Rett comes to the sideline. 9 carries for 70 yards for Rett. Goes out for a breather, 3rd down and 5, and some early movement. And Ian Beckles knows that it's his fault. And that was a chance for Harper to catch a man.
And really, the last couple of series now for the Buccaneers have been sloppy. They've had the penalties, they've had the mistakes, they've seen their quarterback blow up, and it's almost like you want to say, come on, guys, you had it going, you're playing well, the whole preseason's been good. And I'm sure that's what Sam told them at halftime. Let's go back, have one good solid drive, take a seat, and we'll get ready for opening day against Philadelphia. And yet the mistakes continue now.
They're down at 10 after the penalty. Harper again in motion, top of the screen. Dilfer, plenty of time, floats it out, complete. Lawrence Dawsey, there's your man again, Chris. You love that guy, picked up the first down.
And he's working against one of the best in football in Troy Vincent. And really, that was one of those plays that as a quarterback, you build confidence in a guy. It really looked like Dawsey was out of position, but he just came back through Troy Vincent to make the catch. And that's the sort of competitiveness that you see out of Lawrence Dawsey on a daily basis when you watch him.
13-yard pickup to Dawsey. First down for the Bucs at the 39-yard line. And off to Eric Rett. Got a hold. Eric Rett running with enthusiasm tonight. Gene Atkins brought him down, but it's another first down.
And Charles McRae did his job by just stretching the defense. He's trying to get outside of Chris Singleton. Chris Singleton widened to try and avoid being hooked. And so Eric Rett said, fine, if that's where you want to go, I'll just cut it up in here and make about 10, 15 yards.
Almost right in the middle of that orange tree. Here's the citrus.
Hello.
Midfield. Actually got some great boots in that tree, too. Good play fake from Dilfer. Over the middle, wide open is Dawsey. And Dawsey is down to the 28-yard line. An excellent fake by Dilfer.
And the one thing that you get out of Alvin Harper is a threat. When Alvin Harper runs through the middle of the field, they had about 3 guys back there with him. Look at everybody now. They're all back there. They're looking for Alvin Harper, who's 20 yards beyond the picture. And Lawrence Dawsey just said, there's a hole. There's a hole. Throw me the ball. There's a hole.
And Dilfer put it right on the money. 1st and 10 at the Dolphin 28. To the left side, Dawsey again. Dawsey out near the first down marker at the 18. They'll give him a 17 first down.
NFL throw right there. Did you see how soon he threw that football before Dawsey even started to make his break? That's what you have to do in this league. There's not the margin for error that you typically have in college football. That may have been the best throw I've seen him make the entire camp.
Dilfer looking every bit the leader out there. Remember, friends, this is a guy who's only started 2 regular season games in the NFL. Number 3 will come a week from Sunday. Eric Rett. Oh, look at him, pull it back. Rett to the 10. Eric Rett has a 1st and goal, maybe, for the Buccaneers. Vincent brought him down.
He is special. Absolutely is special. This is a little Barry Sanders type run, you know. One of those where, well, you guys just sort of get in their way and let me do my thing back here. But that's the thing that I love about Eric Rett. You know, you get down there to the last thing, you're going to get tackled. You know he is. He doesn't try to make one more move. He just wants to inflict a little pain on somebody.
He did. Rett on the night, 11 carries, 91 yards. Not a bad average. 1st and goal, Buccaneers, leading by 3. Here's the handoff to Moore. His first carry of the night, Dave Moore, inside the 5-yard line.
And there's going to be the new look for the Buccaneers this year. They call it the Moreback. Very creative naming on the part of Sam Wyche and company, but he will be the fullback. And a lot of people surprised that Anthony McDowell was cut from this football team, but McDowell simply was not a good enough blocker to play in this offense.
Second down and goal, just inside the 5. Dilfer, timing pattern. Harper, end zone. Gave it a good try, but he was covered step for step by Troy Vincent.
I think that was just the wrong coverage to throw that route. Troy Vincent had an outside shade to Alvin Harper, and kind of difficult to throw that fade into a guy playing outside of you.
And Alvin Harper will get back and deliver that intelligence to Trent Dilfer.
3 minutes, 15 seconds.
Now Tom White wanting him to reset the clock again.
And Sam Wyche calling a formation or a personnel group there. I don't know exactly what it means now, but Sam will use the hand signals to signal to the guys behind him on the sideline which people are supposed to be in the ballgame.
Third down and goal inside the 5.
Here comes Trace Armstrong late in the game, and Dilfer is saying make sure you keep an eye on that guy. He's been a headache tonight.
Big number 93 for Miami. Dolphins showing blitz. Hand off to Rhett. Can he turn it outside? Eric Rhett just short of the goal line. Does not get in. Michael Stewart did a good job cutting him off at the pass.
And Scott Dill did a great job holding Trace Armstrong on that play. He just had Trace Armstrong. He got him hooked. He got the shoulder pad and got away with it.
Well, this is interesting, and fourth down is the call. Fourth and goal from the 2, and the Bucs are going for it. Harper and Dorsey are out. Harris and Ty.J. Armstrong are in. Gee, I wonder what they're going to do here. Strength against strength here. Mano a mano, unless they pull something out of their sleeve. Nothing fancy. Eric Rhett. Eric Rhett, touchdown, Tampa Bay. Right in front of the Buccaneer faithful here at the Citrus Bowl.
I'll take Eric Rhett one-on-one in that situation against anybody in the league. There wasn't a doubt in my mind when he got to right here that this was a touchdown. Just takes Gene Atkins right back into the end zone. Gene Atkins finding Eric Rhett a little tougher to handle than that reporter he pushed around in the locker room last week.
And he paid for it, by the way. Understand it was handled internally. Houston, the extra point. It's good, and the Buccaneers have their 10-point lead back again.
And this is also a trend breaker. As you see, Big Ian Beckles getting out in front with the lead block. Boy, everything looked like it was going left, and here it came back to the right for 6.
Back in a moment.
The heat is on.
The heat is on now at your local Mercury dealer during the Mercury Clearance Countdown with hot deals on some of the year's best cars, like Mercury Villager, the minivan that drives like a car, with front-wheel drive, standard V6 engine, standard 4-wheel ABS, and fingertip flexible seating. Plus, now you can get a new Villager with a great low lease rate. So come in now while the deals are hot during the Mercury Clearance Countdown at your local Mercury dealer.
The heat is on.
Now let me get this straight. You expect me to wake up, watch you guys on game day for an hour and 15 minutes, talking about all the upcoming games, then watch all the games for 6 hours, then turn back to watch you guys on prime time to wrap up all the games for another hour? In other words, over 8 hours of nonstop football? Yeah! Okay, I love it. Okay, and pass the pickle. You're nuts.
The best is here. The Mazda Labor Day Savings Spectacular. Time for big savings on a Mazda truck with power steering, rear ABS, even an AM/FM cassette stereo. Buy now and get over $1,700 in special savings, including air conditioning at no extra charge. The Mazda Labor Day Savings Spectacular. Don't miss it, or you miss the chance to save over $1,700 on a Mazda truck.
Well, Sam Wyche, he may not show it outwardly, but Chris, he has got to be smiling ear to ear inside with the performance of his offensive football team that last drive.
How good is that guy?
Oh.
I really think you're going to see Eric Rett behind this offensive line have a huge year. He had a huge year last year. He just got started late. Didn't really get a chance to play till late in the season. You may be looking at a guy that could challenge for the rushing title.
Kicked off by Houston, fielded at the 5-yard line. A little Irving spikes. You better get him. John Lynch couldn't. Finally, he's brought down at the 34-yard line by Melvin Johnson. That kid makes you hold your breath.
Just a little stud.
And that little stud will take a rest while we go to break. There's what the scoreboard says. We think that's a rough estimate. We know the score is right. Buccaneers by 10.
Blood. Surprises for you. Now, 900 megahertz. The one that we sold you for $199.95 did not have a speakerphone on it. We are going to throw in, honest to goodness, let me show you this. Speakerphone is included, so actually what you're getting here is 2 phones. Why? Because watch this. I don't even need this. I can call anywhere I want right now. Hey, Charlie, what's your extension in there? 5394. I'm calling Charlie. He's my producer.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Charlie.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
It's a great phone.
Hey, you look good.
Thanks. Bye.
See ya. Anyway, I don't even need the headset, so I've got 2 phones. And you're at 2. $199.95 for just the cordless phone.
Hey, you can use 1-800-CALL-ATT, whether you're calling across town or across country.
Okay, honestly. $179 even? Not even the 95? Save you another $1. $179. And it is item number 558676.
So to win, just dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for all your calling card calls. And you might get to know Mickey.
That's your true choice, AT&T.
Tom Bees and Chris Collinsworth here with you from the Citrus Bowl in Orlando. The final dress rehearsal for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and so far I think they're ready for the play. And that last drive is emblematic.
I think Sam White got exactly what he wanted. Wanted to see that first offense run the football, and there's Trent Dilfer with that bandage on the knee, but trust me, Sam wouldn't have put him back in there if, in fact, it was too serious. Sure, just getting a little ice on it right now.
Bernie Kosar, his first action in a Miami Dolphin uniform tonight. Former All-American at the University of Miami, and we got some substitutes in there and people anxious to play. Billy.
It will automatically scan.
Miami.
False start. Number 79. Moving prior to the snap. Still first down.
You know, so many numbers that you can talk about with Bernie Kosar, but the one that impressed me the most was the time that he went 308 straight passes without an interception. In this league, that is almost impossible.
Incredible. His days with the Cleveland Browns. First down and 15. Kosar played in the most exciting college football game I've ever seen. It was there in the Orange Bowl when they beat Nebraska for the national title. Irving spikes over the 30 to the 32-yard line.
Is that the one where they knocked down the 2-point conversion in the end zone?
That's right. Nebraska scored. Miami was up real early. Nebraska came back. Miami went up big late. Nebraska came back, went for 2 to win the national title, and was batted down. Bernie Kosar was sensational that night.
Well, I tell you, I thought they were going to hang Bill Belichick when he cut Bernie Kosar or shipped him out of there. It was ugly.
Second down and 12. Kosar with an unorthodox throwing motion, but he gets it done to the sideline. Is it complete in bounds? Yes, it is.
There's your guy.
Magruder made the tackle.
Ricky Sanders.
Ricky Sanders, that's right. First catch of the night.
The old veteran doing a nice job with the toe toucher over here, and Bernie threw it right at the spot. There's one of those throwing motions that you get cut from your Pop Warner team for. And he has made a good living off of that. Although not good enough, because we understand he's in the greeting card business now, but I refuse to bring that up and give him any kind of a cheap endorsement.
No, I'll give an expensive one, but not a cheap one. Sanders One of the USFL refugees still active in the National Football League. Here's Irving Spikes. Hits that line, and the second effort may get him the first down. Culpepper met him.
No, it's interesting that they really want to give Bernie a good look here because they've got that starting offensive line still in there for the Dolphins.
They also want to get a good look at Milner. He's been spelling both Webb and Heller all night long. But you're right, Bernie. Something goes down with Dan Marino, and he proved year before last he was just as mortal as anybody.
And did you see the competitive reaction from Rusty Tillman on the other sideline when they signaled first down? He's still into this game. He doesn't want to give points to anybody on that Dolphin offense.
Sanders in motion, comes back. And the give is to Spikes. Spikes up the middle. Irving Spikes to the 40. The 36-yard line. Sometimes I'm convinced they lose him in there. You're a linebacker trying to read, and they're cutting home until he's past you. Derrick Brooks time.
312 yards rushing for this team last year, and he was a major factor. But watch the athleticism here on the part of Derrick Brooks. Just one hand on him, but manages to turn his body completely around to make the tackle. That looked like it was going to be about a 65-yard touchdown.
Spikes, 5'8", 206. And he is a fire plug. About 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Bucks by 10. Hope you're enjoying it tonight live on Channel 44. And a throw by Kosar to Sanders. Mike Magruder on the coverage, but Sanders knows where the sticks are.
Now, this is really an all-star team of wide receivers that the Dolphins have put together. I don't know exactly what they're going to do. You have Ricky Sanders coming off the bench as your fourth or fifth wideout. I mean, that is pretty impressive. And working against Scooter Magruder over there, who is probably going to end up the nickelback on this team, along with Tony Stargell and Clifton Abraham, who was beaten for the touchdown earlier tonight.
Sanders goes out wide to the top. Thrill Hill, Randall Hill to the bottom. Spikes again. Couple of yards this time. Mark Spindler wrapped him up and threw him to the turf. Spindler, again, speculated to be one of the guys that still has a fight to make this football team.
And Hardy Nickerson, not one of those in that category. But he is getting a long look tonight. I'm kind of surprised to see Hardy after coming off that shoulder injury and getting this much time. They obviously probably just left it up to Hardy. It said, all right, you play until you get comfortable, and then we'll go out there and see what happens in Philadelphia.
He's got to get his wind. He may have to chase Mr. Cunningham around.
I don't know if anybody has enough wind for that.
Kosar, plenty of time. Makes the throw, and an excellent catch for a first down by Sanders. Clifton Abraham. Well, you're right. What are they going to do with Ricky Sanders?
You know, and Clifton Abraham right there on the coverage. This was just a great throw by Bernie Kosar and a very impressive route. Here's a veteran for you. Watch Ricky Sanders come back for this football. The only way that thing gets completed is if he keeps moving back towards the quarterback. I guarantee you in college, Clifton Abraham, that's 6 points the other way. But in the pros and with the receivers like Ricky Sanders, it's a completed pass.
First and 10, the Dolphins can't get a first down without a touchdown. Ball is on the 11, and it's still on the 11 as Spikes is held up for no gain by Mark Spindler. And a flag on the play. Dolphins continuing to work on their running game tonight. And a personal foul against Miami. Is that correct?
Looked like it, and I have to be honest, I don't know what that signal is. What is it when they slap your thigh?
Maybe you had a mosquito bite.
Foul. Crackback.
Crackback.
15 yards.
Crackback block on Randall Thrill Hill.
I didn't see the open hand, where he comes in from behind.
It's his own individual interpretation. See if we can see it to the right of your screen right there.
That's what you can't do. You're allowed to come back inside and block, but when you do it, you have to block above the waist. That obviously a rule put in to try and protect the legs from some of the players who wouldn't see that block coming.
Kosar 3 out of 3 on the night for 34 yards. He's going to need some of that magic now. First and 25 from the 26-yard line. Plenty of time. Big Eric Green, not a bad idea. Derrick Brooks stops that play at the 17.
How much do you think that Bernie Kosar would have liked to have had Eric Green in Cleveland during his days? Would he have worked Eric Green to death? Because Bernie is a guy who, as far as timing passes are concerned, probably the best in the business. And just absolutely a master. And look at the line blocking up front, beautiful protection. And Eric Green is one of those guys you don't look forward to taking head on.